Hi, Antonette. Thank you so much for booking with me. I had actually, ooh, excuse my creaky chair. What the heck? I had actually already started filming this video probably about a week back. But something always kept getting in the way, or I kept getting interrupted. But I felt like maybe it was because I have something in the works right now, and my last 4, 5 clients kind of got to experience that. So I feel like maybe you needed this aside from the message that you already have requested. But so yeah, this was something else. So I looked at your chart and I see that you're predominantly water and air, and that you also have sun and aqua, moon and Pisces, which is actually the reverse of me. I have Pisces sun, moon and aqua, and Venus in Pisces. So there's a lot of karma that comes with being an Aquarius. There's like separate karma for each sign. For Aquarians, it's always you guys have always kind of gone against the grain, I like to say. Aquarians have their own individual ideas, and sometimes you can be persecuted depending on what lifetime you had these ideas. For you, I feel like maybe, I don't know if you're a hermit now, but I feel like there is going to be a lifetime that's going to come up. It's either going to be in the Greco-Rome era or a Celtic era, where you probably did not marry, and you probably were more kept to yourself because of that Venus in Pisces, and that Venus in love has to be perfect. Love is like all there is, and kind of that illusion that comes with a Venus in Pisces. I feel like as a sun in aqua and moon in Pisces, you can kind of be rather conflicted. I'm speaking from your opposite standpoint. You can try to intellectualize your emotions, your sun being in aqua and your Venus being in Pisces, rather than really feel through them. So what I like to do is when I look at a chart, I kind of pick out crystals that kind of like balance you out, sort of, say, in a way. And the one crystal that stuck out to me the most is the smoky quartz. Ooh, I'm thinking the camera's over here. It's the smoky quartz. Now, smoky quartz is a crystal for psychic protection and grounding, as well as protecting from psychic attack. I feel like you can be very open to energies just because you are predominantly water and air. Those are some of the most intuitive elements to have in your chart. And I feel like maybe sometimes you just kind of receive other people's energy, and it kind of can bog you down, or you can kind of internalize it as your own because you don't know how to separate your own intuition, your own feelings from other people. It's very, very easy to kind of get sucked into other people's energy when your psychic wall isn't, isn't as strong or as protected as it should be. It's getting a little hot in my hand, so that means that maybe you should go out and get it. You don't need to obviously buy a crystal. I always tell people, if you have a clear quartz will substitute any crystal for any work, for anything. But I think it's like it's just the black and like the way this quartz looks that kind of gives it that extra oomph, I want to say. I also have clear quartz. This is probably one of my favorite crystals. This is like the must-have crystal I say to everybody, like, you need some clear quartz in your life. And I have the incense going over here, by the way. Clear quartz is a stone of manifestation. It can, like I said, replace any crystal. It's called the master healer. So that's why I always tell people, like, get yourself some clear quartz. Clear quartz is considered the master healer because it radiates at a stronger vibration or a stronger property than most crystals. This one, you could literally tell it to do what every other crystal is doing here. I have like an array of crystals over here, by the way. And it'll do the job. It's just it's like an all-around great crystal. So I feel like sometimes you can have a hard time manifesting your ideas into realities. You have so much water and so much air in your chart that it can be hard grounding your ideas into the present and into the now. So I definitely feel like maybe you should get your hands on some clear quartz. Clear quartz can do what this crystal can do. It can do what this crystal can do. You just literally have to just program this little guy to do what you need it to do. And over here I have kyanite. Now, kyanite is a crystal for past life recall. I tend to sleep with it. I keep it on me at all times when I'm doing this type of work because it kind of just gives you bits and pieces, and it really helps you connect to that. The blue in the kyanite is for obviously the throat, but it's also for kind of like that higher communication with the angelic realms, and just to really understand like your past lives. Like I said, I like to sleep with it. I like to keep it on me, and it kind of just gives me bits and pieces. I for me to receive visions and stuff, I will throughout the reading. But most of the time, it just comes in like little bits and pieces. Like I'll get a book, or I'll get a lake, or I'll get an old lady. It just depends, honestly, and it's kind of my job to piece everything together. And this kind of just helps me get the information a little faster and piece it together a little faster. So if you're interested in that, kyanite. There's different forms of kyanite too. There's black kyanite, there's green kyanite, and then there's blue kyanite. I just kind of got drawn to the blue. All right, so for today, I have the Past Life Oracle deck. The Past Life Oracle deck, this one I got years ago. I don't think they make it anymore. It's by one of my favorite authors. His name is Brian Weiss. He's considered the godfather of like the past life studies. I definitely recommend Many Lives, Many Masters as a book. He has a bunch of great books. I've read all of them, but my favorite and kind of like the one that started it all was Many Lives, Many Masters. So if you're interested in kind of getting a deeper understanding of the work that is the past life and past life recalls, definitely look into him. Now, what I tell people when I do past life readings, I tell them, be prepared to spontaneously regress. Spontaneous regression can happen. You're just like walking and you get a vision of an old lady or somebody that you know to be you. Oh, Jesus, there was a stone here. Or someone that you know to be you. And you kind of just try to put it together, or you might just kind of like put it behind you and think like, oh, it's just a passing by thought, when it probably isn't. Or you may have already had dreams of being into this different time period or this different time zone, and you kind of just don't know how to make sense of it. But just know that if you're aware enough, you will be able to tell which one is your past life and which one is kind of just a dream trying to tell you something. I always tell people that when I kind of go into past lives, it's kind of like in Avatar: The Last Airbender, when Aang channels different lifetimes as avatars. That's him doing past life recalls. That's him getting into contact with these parts of him that have already gone through the same situation. And it's very much like it. With past life, it's like if you, let's say you live a lifetime and you had a similar problem. If you didn't take care of that problem within that past life, it kind of amplifies itself and it becomes into your immediate group. I always tell people it's like your parents. If you had a bad relationship with your parents during a past lifetime, let's say you and your parents got into a dispute, got into an argument, really had an effect on your life during this lifetime, and it wasn't resolved, and they weren't your parents during this lifetime, let's say they were your friends during this lifetime, the dispute wasn't resolved, they will immediately reincarnate into your immediate soul group. So the soul group would be either a soul group would be the group that you have reincarnated into. This could be close friends, family members, and just to kind of balance out that karma and elevate each other's souls, you kind of reincarnate into that immediate group. So if they were a friend, you had a dispute, they reincarnate into your mother and your father. Boom. That's kind of like them clearing out your karma, them being an immediate part of who you are now. All right. Enough of me talking. All right. So I always like to ask, what is the past life that most affects Antonette's current lifetime? What is the past? Oh, Lord Jesus. What is... I got some words to say. What is the past life that most affects Antonette's current lifetime? What is... Antonette. Ma'am, what did I say? Well, I was guessing Greco-Roman era, but... What is the past lifetime most related to Antonette's current lifetime? Ooh. What is the past lifetime most related to Antonette's current lifetime? Oh, man, you got 2 lifetimes here. Ooh. The lifetimes just rocked my camera out into the abyss. What is the past lifetime most related to Antonette's current lifetime? Ooh. Ma'am. Sorry, I get really excited. You have 2 lifetimes here. Now, this isn't uncommon for me. This happens all the time, but I'm feeling this is 1 lifetime and this is 1 lifetime. So, remember how I told you that I felt you weren't going to be married during one of your lifetimes? I feel like this is a lesson for both lifetimes, but yeah. So you have, let me show you all the cards before I put them on the side. I'm going to put them on the side and get back to them. You have angels. You have Egypt. You have trust and faith. You have imprisonment and slavery. You have Asia. You have finances. So, ma'am, what I'm getting for you is you're a monk. You feel like a young Buddhist monk in this lifetime. It feels like you were brought up by the monks, though you might have not been immediately born into this. It very much feels like if you are struggling with your finances right now, it's kind of because your soul probably has not had a lot of experience with finances or generating finances because you probably lived more than 1 lifetime being cared for. It feels like everything was kind of given to you, or you were born into a faith or religion that kind of provided for you and told you that the minimum is what. It's kind of like you don't need the material, you don't need the financial, you just kind of need to trust and the faith and kind of just strengthening yourself. There's this exercise that I know to be from like a teaching in the Tai Lao. The Tai Lao is like a scripture that it's like a very ancient scripture. So you might be from that period, and that's why I'm getting the Tai Lao. So in the Tai Lao, it had the monks look at walls, and that's very much what the picture. I'm sorry, my ear got really hot. What I'm picturing is monks staring at a wall. Now, the monks would do this to kind of get themselves in like a very concentrated, a very focused type of mindset. And it was, how long can you look at this wall before you start having visions? Now, as crazy and as nuts as that sounds, these people still do it to this day. It's a very old teaching from that generation. But I feel like during the time that you were with these monks, it was considered taboo, which is very interesting because you have a sun in Aquarius. The sun in Aquarians go for taboo, different, strange. They never lead a normal life or a normal path. And I think that's why your sun is also your Venus is also in Pisces. You believed love to be this perfect, nurturing thing because I feel like you were not deprived of love, but you didn't marry during this lifetime, and you kind of just had a vision for what love would be from like a platonic standpoint, because you were raised in this like monk like place. Definitely, for sure. If you're attracted to Asia, then this is probably why. If you're like have an affinity or attraction to Asia and you feel like you want to visit within the next 1 to 2 years, this is why. Your soul is kind of trying to recollect this lifetime. And I feel like going back to the whole wall staring and things, I feel like meditation would really do well for you, because it's kind of gonna give your soul that, hey, remember this. And you were very young. You were maybe like 26. You were probably not the youngest monk, but definitely one of the younger monks. And what I'm seeing is it's like this big temple. There's a lot of monkeys surrounding it. It's a huge, huge temple. Very minimal lifestyle. Very connected to the land. Not much water around it. But I feel like you wanted to spread the word of what it meant to be enlightened, of what it meant to give over your finances and your finances, your materialists, and try to reach that place of fulfillment. You were trying to really give other people this message at a time when people were not ready. This was I feel like your mindset was too advanced for this lifetime. there was just way too much going on. People were more focused on gaining than giving. And you were trying to spread this message. I see you physically leaving the temple and kind of starting this journey of like, how can I do good for others? And it kind of backfired. It kind of backfired, as most things tend to. For one, I feel like people weren't ready to hear these messages, so they kind of assumed you were work of the devil type thing. There's somebody here that's very against your spirituality or what you do. I'm not sure if this kind of feels male figure. So he's one of the first people that you encounter on your journey through. You're literally, I see you descending down a mountain. So this is one of the people, I feel like you were so kind and so opening as a monk that you expected people to do the same for you, and you came to a cold realization that that's not how the rest of the world is. There was a serious isolation going on when you were in a temple. So when you came across this people, it kind of threw you off a little bit and kind of made you question your faith. But one of the first people you do encounter is a male that might be your father or might be your grandfather that is highly, highly against your spirituality or what you do. And you kind of have to buckle down, and they might just be highly religious. This could be just a male in your family that's highly, highly religious. I'm getting older male figure. That's why I see a father or grandfather. I'm getting older male figure that may not support what you believe in or what you consider to be true, because you encountered him during this lifetime. He's one of the first people that I see you meeting in this path, and I feel like you were trying to extend your knowledge and extend your grace to him, and he was just very shut off. So I definitely feel like this is somebody that you have an immediate connection with now. And like I said, they might not fully support you in your spirituality, but again, trust and faith. I feel like now you have a choice to either let people just do what they want, think what they want, and just give yourself over to your faith and just trust that you are being led in the right direction and in the right path. I feel like this male figure will play a stronger role in Egypt, because it feels like this happened and then this happened, and that's why I'm choosing this lifetime to go into first. So yeah, you come up on a little village, and they kind of just throw witchcraft. I'm sorry, I'm laughing because the way that I'm seeing this monk, he's very tall. I don't know if you're tall now, but he's very, very tall during this lifetime, and it's kind of hard for people to imprison him because he's such a tall monk. This man is like 6 feet. He's bald. He carries like I don't know if you're particularly attracted to like red, or if that's your favorite color. There's an affinity to this color, but he keeps around like this little red bracelet, and it's like a protection and a comfort, and it's like a reminds him of the temple, because in this temple I see a lot of like red flowers. They're not roses, they might be hibiscuses, but I see a lot of red flowers in the temple, and he kind of just keeps it as a comfort. But they're having a very hard time bringing this man down because he is so tall, and the people in the village are very short. But he kind of just accepts his fate, because he's very passive. He's a very passive, calm guy. You don't die in imprisonment. You obviously get let go, but you kind of lose your track a little bit. And it feels like at the end of this lifespan, you are not a monk anymore. You kind of give in to the ideas that maybe everybody else was right and that there's nothing more to life. But you always kind of had that yearning to go back to the temple, go back and strengthen your faith. I feel like this was a very like test your faith lifetime, and even though you do meet some people along the way, the strongest connection you had in this lifetime was with this man that could now be your father, could be your grandfather. You live in isolation for a long time, and I feel like any love that you did experience was experienced through the temple and not really when you descended down into this village. This village was maybe 4 or 5 hours from the temple, and you don't stay in the village, you move up to another one where you finish that lifetime there. It was sort of uneventful except for the imprisonment that had you question your faith. And I kind of like, now maybe you are in a test of faith, or you are in a financial pickle, and it's kind of asking you to combine that with your faith, to know that you are being guided and you are being trusted. And it would actually be very, very beneficial for you to either meditate on this monk, or kind of reach out to your guides, because I also have angels over here. That means that you are heavily guarded. Your faith has been very strong in past lifetimes, and I feel like you've always been watched out for, and you just need to believe that you are being watched out for. I feel like your soul is very nurturing, it's very kind, and this has just been one of the lifetimes. Now I want to see this Egyptian lifetime. I'm going to keep both of these. Oh Lord, I'm going to keep both of these up here, but I really want to take a look at this Egyptian lifetime. And I'll go into the lessons of the lifetime by pulling tarot at the end. Oh, Jesus Christ, Lord and Savior. Let's see, what should Antonette find from this lifetime in Egypt? I don't feel like they have any big things to say right now. Oh, Jesus Christ. Ma'am, I feel like your soul is very young. Like, maybe you haven't lived as many lifetimes as the rest of us, but your soul just feels very, very young. There it is. Okay. So the reason I'm saying I feel like your soul is very young is because you have galactic here, and then you have transportation. Obviously, this has been a theme for you. I feel like maybe sometimes you tend to escape things by either moving, or maybe even just physically, like mentally escaping, mentally shutting yourself out. And it's kind of been an ongoing theme as well. So the themes of kind of moving to escape problems, and not moving, but even just mentally dismissing them. The finances as well, and the faith. So faith, finances, and moving. But galactic just shows me that maybe you were born on a different star, that maybe you don't feel like you belong here. And that's very, very on point for Aquarians. Aquarians tend to be very otherworldly. They tend to know that there is something more out there. I feel like most Aquarians are aliens. I definitely do. I feel like if you're an Aquarian and you were reincarnating an Aquarian in this lifetime, you were probably an alien. And this galactic card kind of just is proving my point right now. So when I get galactic and I get this, I'm feeling like your soul is very young and may have lived on a different star where life was very different from where it is here on Earth. You kind of expect people to know what you're thinking and know what you're feeling, because maybe that's how it was on this star, and it was more of a collective consciousness than a singular consciousness that we're used to here on Earth. But back to Egypt. Now, Egypt, I do feel some karma here around Egypt. I always tell people that the Egyptian lifetime is just a harsh lifetime. Nothing ever comes easy in Egypt. Let's see. I'm getting, yeah. I am not surprised. Okay, so for this Egyptian lifetime, I'm getting patience, the Fool, and the Nine of Wands. So this was kind of like an introspection lifetime of where were you going. Again, the Fool and this transportation card tell me that you were leaving, or you were trying to leave your problems when you should have just waited it out. You should have just cleared the road. I want to know who was it that you were having problems with, that you decided that it was a better idea to run than to stay. I feel like you were overcome by the desert. I feel like this was kind of like a panic leave, because I'm feeling panicked and I'm feeling very, very hot. I'm feeling like maybe you were young, maybe you were again around that age of 20. It's kind of mirroring that. It's mirroring that Egyptian lifetime. well, you're in your 20s and you're deciding to leave instead of kind of facing the problem. You decide to leave and you are eventually overcome by the desert. So if you're afraid of the desert, or you're afraid of dying in the heat or starvation, this is where this is coming from. I feel like there's a heated argument. Who is this person that I'm seeing? I'm seeing a male. Again, it's that male figure. It's a Libra, baby. It's a Libra. Yeah, you're trying to escape the burdens, escape the responsibility. I'm feeling like this man, these cards read my mind. I'm feeling like this person, they weren't immediately related to you. This feels like a work person, but you were forced to live with them, because the apprenticeship card is here. I'm feeling like this person was either you were working for them, because I'm getting some sort of art form or some sort of craft that they were working on or doing, and you were frustrated with them. You didn't like living with them. You kind of felt stuck, and you felt like it was better to stick it out in the desert and kind of trying to run rather than face this person. I don't know if you know anybody that's a Libra. This could be somebody that is going to come into your life or somebody that is already in your life. Strong male figure. Again, I don't know if this is the same male figure that I'm getting from the previous one, but it's a very strong male figure. Very chatty, very talkative, very arrogant, to say the least. But yeah, I feel like you were trying to run away from this imposed responsibility. They might even be lazy. I feel like you did a bulk of the work, and that's why you were kind of running. You felt trapped. I feel like in some sort of way they bought you. This is what I'm feeling like. This person went and physically bought you, and you decided that it was better to escape and run rather than stay with them. And yeah, that's exactly what's happening. And you kind of just went and you ran, and you kind of went against the elements, and you kind of were succumbed by the elements. I don't feel like you had a chance to love in either of these lifetimes, and maybe that's why that love is perfect, love is everything, love is all consuming, with your Venus in Pisces, because you didn't really get to experience that. So now you're kind of fantasizing about it. But like I said, love, you are very much protected. I feel like you just need to call on your angels, your guides, for protection and for answers. I always tell people, like, the easiest way to call on them is before you go to sleep, ask them to show you a message that you need to hear. They will either show up as animals, old people, like ancient old people, or you'll just kind of hear them. Most of the time, they come to me in animals or, like, old people. My spirit guide just happens to look like a very old man. Let me give you your message from spirit, and then we're going to move on to the other one. Oh, actually, I wanted to know what the lessons were for the lifetimes. Oh! These cards are amused but not surprised. It's the Hangman and the Two of Swords. The Hangman is a card of indecision. The Two of Swords is also a card of indecision, not knowing where to move. And you have the Ace of Wands here. All right. So, let me get that. These cards just make me want to work. It was actually reversed, so. I feel like part of your fears now center around not making the right choices. And just kind of being stuck in limbo with where you are. That's very representative of the Two of Swords and the Hangman. But I feel like just your structure and where you are in life have never either been easy or have never been supported. And that's why you kind of second guess yourself. You never really had that support, Three of Pentacles reversed, or never had like a stable financial situation. So it's kind of hard to manifest your ideas here by the Ace of Wands. And what did we talk about manifesting? I knew you needed a manifestation crystal. Ma'am, it's like I am psychic. But it's kind of hard to bring these ideas into fruition or trying to choose for yourself. And that's very, very much indicative of your lifetimes. Somebody has always chosen for you, or the choices that you made you were not completely proud of, or you kind of chose the ultimatum. Run and book it, and you kind of got yourself into some situations rather than facing them. So I feel like very much the lesson for you is face those fears, come to terms with them, so that you can bring those ideas into fruition. Ground your ideas. Ground your ideas. That way you can bring them to where they need to be. Now, let's your message from Spirit, man. What is Antonette's message from Spirit? What is Antonette's message from Spirit? Spirit wants to talk today. Let yourself receive. What was I just saying? Friendship. Make sure you look for others to support. Self-employment. If there's something that you want to do, do it. Make a wish. I feel like make a wish and self-employment. I feel like that wish is that idea that's going to come to you. I feel like it talks about manifestation, that as long as you're willing to let yourself receive, things will come. I feel like that might be a problem with you right now. You might find yourself hard. It might be hard for you to receive things. It might be hard for you to receive help or receive any sort of help, really, because that's what I'm getting. And I feel like this dream, if it involves self-employment, it doesn't even have to be, your full-time job. You can part-time self-employ yourself before you feel you're ready to make that leap. But just know that the universe can only wait so long, and it will force you to make that leap if you don't make that leap. And I feel like that's why you're in a indecisive spot. That's why you're stuck between a rock and a hard place right now, because the universe is pushing you to do it and you're kind of resisting it right now. It also says to kind of make a day for yourself. Give yourself just one day where you don't think about work, where you don't think about your issues, and let yourself live. That's what I'm getting. Let yourself live for one day. Put the issues to the side. Forget about everything else that's going on in the world, and make a day for you and those people that you love and that you trust. So that you can bring this idea in, that you could brainstorm. Give yourself some time, man. Now, I'm going to go over the last thing here, which is, this is from the Tantric, what is it called? The Tantric Dankini Oracle. I hope I am not butchering its name. So this is kind of like a self-awareness tool. This is something I have going on in the works. This is literally, I want to say, it's kind of like tarot, but it's very, very different from tarot. It doesn't follow original tarot standards. It is more of like a self-awareness tool. It does involve the chakras, but it's mostly a tool of self-awareness. And the images are meant to... I'm laughing because of what I got. The images are meant to kind of jog something in your brain. I'm gonna keep going. Kind of jog something in your brain that awakens you in a sense. I have Joker. My book. I have not memorized anything. I don't know anything right now. But I felt the need to draw for people from this oracle before I actually start using it. It says, accept the humors of your situation. Don't get caught up in the maze. Don't get caught up in the drama. Don't get caught up in what is not factual in your life. Don't get caught up in any of that. And then there's heart drop. I'm gonna show you the images again. Heart drop. Heart drop? Heart drop. Represents the power of the heart. What did I say? Oh, God. It says compassion should be brought to bear on any other worldly problems. So I'm getting for a heart drop. I'm just going to go off intuition. What I'm getting for a heart drop is just know where to place your love, your care. Cut out anything that is not, you know, that's not feasible for you, that's not immediately available to you. I feel like maybe you overlove because you want to be overloved, and you need to know when to not overgive, is what I'm getting from these two. And from Elixir, I'm feeling like it's very much enjoy yourself. And if I'm right, I'm gonna scream. Let me see. Taste the things of the world without becoming attached to them. What did I just say? Move down towards where the bittersweet taste of life, the fruits of all experiences. Enjoy things, women. Enjoy things. Enjoy and let it be enjoyed. Don't overanalyze. Don't overfocus. Just live in the present. Ugh. These things write themselves, really. But I'm going to show you these images because I'm sure later on you'll have a dream. Something related to this. So yeah, just really enjoy yourself. Don't overinvest yourself in other people. Overinvest in you, and somebody will eventually overinvest in you as well. You just have to be, you don't have to be 100% healed. You just have to know how to separate yourself from situations that don't have the best interest for you. And that's very much what I'm feeling for this. Now, thank you so much for booking with me. Thank you so much for your patience. And I hope that I hear from you soon. Please write back to me. You can reach me through Twitter, or you can just directly reply to the email. Thank you so much, Antonette, and I hope to hear from you soon. Bye. Oh, and sorry for the thing falling over, but I just kind of go through the whole thing. Bye.